Hello and welcome to another video. In this one, we're going to be talking about how to make an undeletable file even with root, and why you might want to do this. I've seen this used a couple of times for debugging purposes and once during a security incident. But yeah, let's jump into it. Okay, so I'm going to make a file today. I guess technically it will still be deletable in the end by undoing what I'm going to do, but I'm going to show you a technique that makes a file truly immutable, which prevents deletion, renaming, contents changing, etc. Yeah, let's jump into it. Okay, so I'm going to put hello world into some file called f, and we are going to run a command called chattr, which is change attributes, and we are going to set a very specific attribute on this file, the I attribute, which is the immutable attribute. And this allows you to prevent, if we search further down here, let's see, dash I, why is it not immutable? Why are we not able to find dash I in here? Anyway, oh, here it is. A file with the attributes, with the I attribute, cannot be modified. It cannot be deleted or renamed. No link can be created to this file. Most of this file's metadata cannot be modified, and the file cannot be opened in write mode. Only the super user or a process possessing this capability can set or clear this attribute. So this is a privileged attribute. And so what we're going to do is sudo chattr plus I to add the immutable attribute to f. And you'll see now if I try and, I can still cat f, I can still look at its contents. You could, of course, change this by removing readability and such, and this is actually what was done during a security incident. We wanted to leave a file on disk, but make it so you can't execute it or change its contents, such that we can mitigate somebody trying to execute this and continue a vulnerability, but at the same time we can look at the file later and figure out exactly what happened. So stop the vulnerability and leave the file till later to check on it. But you'll see if I try and delete this file, I will get operation not permitted, and even if I do sudo rmf, you'll see that root even cannot delete this file. And so this is a way to set the attributes here. Now, this actually came up recently at work. We were trying to figure out, oh, this is weird. Some file keeps getting its attributes changed, or keeps getting its executability changed. In particular, it was changing the owner and changing the permission bits on a file, and we're like, we don't know what's doing this, and we don't have a good way to debug it. And it was changing it to root, so obviously the super user was involved at some point, and so the normal ways of removing write permission wouldn't really work because it was the super user. So I had the crazy idea that we could just set the immutable attribute on this and then wait for something to fail. And as soon as we noticed the thing that failed with operation not permitted, then we knew what system was modifying that file. So this was pretty useful to kind of finding why something was changing, even though the super user was involved. And of course, if you want to undo this, you can do sudo chattr -I, and this will remove the immutable attribute from f, and then you can delete the file just as normal. Just to show you what we did for the bad vulnerable executable, let's make an example there. So let's t.sh user bin bash echo. This is a bad script or something like that. So when it was vulnerable, you ran this and it produced this is a bad script. So what we did to isolate this file and prevent it from being executed is we did chmod 000. So this removes read, write, and execute from this file. And then what we did was, of course, you could still un-chmod that as a non-super user. And then after that, we did chattr plus I t.sh, sudo, of course. And then, you can't execute this file. You can't read it. You can read it as root, but you can't, execute it either. I still don't think so. Yeah, you can't run it. Yeah, that was a way to isolate a file while we, did triage on the security incident. But anyway, that's kind of cool. Hopefully this was useful. If there are additional things you would like me to explain, leave a comment below or reach out to me on the various platforms. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.